All right, everyone, I want to welcome you back to the channel. This is going to be a really quick top 10 figures I collected for 2023. This is all 2023 releases. I have a separate video that just covers pickups. As I mentioned before, this is my first full year collecting again after being off for like about 15 years of collecting. So I picked up around 190 figures this year. And so I'm going to do a video for what released in 2023, which were my top 10. And then I'm going to do a top 10 of what I picked up just in general, because some of them are older pieces that mean a lot to me and things like that. So they're going to get started. I'm going to do, of course, like, standard. I'm going to do some honorable mentions. So number 15, I'm going to do 5 honorable mentions. Is going to be Pre-Vizsla. An amazing looking figure. I mean, just a phenomenal job they did with the look, the paint, the sculpting. Definitely like the translation from animation into, real life. But the problem is, like everybody's already mentioned before, this figure with these rounded bottom feet and this Django body is just pretty abysmal. Like, he stays on the flight stand, and on the flight stand, one of the best figures I have in the collection. Off of the flight stand, yeah, not so much. Okay. Coming in at number 14, I know this is going to be a little controversial, but this is going to be Malgus. Now, Malgus is, don't get me wrong, probably one of the best figures I've ever picked up, just from the soft goods to the way they did the hood, the sculpting, amazing. The problem is I just don't have any connection to this guy. So, but I do recognize a great figure when I see it, and that's why I had to pick him up. So he came into collection for that. But don't get me wrong, I think if I played some of the older games, I probably would be enamored by him. But I just know he's a really good figure. I like the way he looks, and I had to add him to the collection. So. Coming in at 13 is Black Chrysanthemum. Oh, his gun fell off. So you guys all know Chrysanthemum. This is the one we looked for. This is the one we really all wanted from the situation with Book of Boba Fett. We're not going to really mention all that. But again, great figure, great sculpting. They just knocked it out of the park. His articulation could be better. But, all in all, he's a great figure. And I'm glad we actually have this version in our hand. So way to go, Hasbro, great job. Coming in at number 12 is Figma Samus. Now, this is definitely not my favorite version of Samus, but definitely Figma's best iteration of Samus. She can do it all. She can pose in any kind of way. She's got a couple different weapons. It'd be great if this cannon had a close option, but outside of that, that's really about it. They did a phenomenal job with Samus, so I'm super happy to have her in my collection, and she's definitely one of my favorite figures that I've ever picked up, and I'm glad to have representation of one of my favorite characters from video gaming. So. And then coming in at number 11, last honorable mention is going to be the movie realization Book of Boba Fett. Kind of a unique character as far as like how he looks and how he works. This it's not superposable. It's really designed to kind of sit there and stand. But the paint detail, the weathering, you name it, they just did a phenomenal job with this. Even like I say, even though he's kind of fragile, if he falls, he's not gonna do well at all. But I would definitely say he's one of the favorite figures I've picked up for sure. Absolutely love him. All right, coming in at number 10 is going to be, I couldn't pick one, so I just picked them all. So they all came out this year. The Bad Batch Season 2, I just got Hunter representing the team. Bad Batch, one of my favorite Disney productions this year. And definitely one of my favorite action figure line. So I love their team setup. I was able to collect both sets. So We got the entire second set Bad Batch. Love these guys. Again, great paint, updated face sculpts. They did a great job with that as well. You can't go wrong with it. So no complaints with that. For my number 9 selection, again, I couldn't decide on one, so I picked 2. So we have Toby and Andrew. Oop, let me get this thing up here. I love both of these figures. I love both of the characters from Spider-Man. Toby is, great sculpting details. I mean, like, SH Figure Arts just knocked this out of the park. So, does come with the uncovered head, unmasked head. Articulation is through the roof. When it comes to Andrew, he doesn't come with that, but I mean, this suit, oh man, this suit is just so crazy. The shine, the glisten, productivity, the accuracy. I mean, they did, like I said, again, great job with him, and he's definitely one of my favorite figures I've picked up. I don't say because I liked both, I couldn't really decide them, so I just kind of cheated and did 2 at 1. For number 8, we have the SHF Book of Boba Fett. Now, the fact that we don't have one from Hasbro is actually kind of insane, but I'll pick it up. I'm sure when they drop it, just to have it. But I mean, it definitely won't replace on the shelf. This one here, this will still stay in my office. I mean, SHF soft goods, great articulation, great proportions. They did a great job with it. Super happy with how this turned out, and Boba Fett's my favorite character. So, in pretty much every media. So, I'm glad that I've got another version of him that looks pretty stunning. So, great job. Coming in at number 7 is Mezco Bishop. Now, Mezco is one of those companies where, like, sometimes they do a great job, and other times it's kind of okay. But I can tell you, like, this Mezco Bishop, they just destroyed. They just knocked it so far out of the park. It's not even crazy. From the weathering to the soft goods to the bodysuit, the head sculpts, the multiple head sculpts you get with them. Always loved Bishop as a character, and didn't really like the animated version that Marvel Legends did. So when they dropped this one here, I was like, let me just try it and see what I like. And, definitely no regrets with this pickup. Bishop's a stunning one. So, all right, coming in at number 6 is Snarl. And the main reason he's up here is because I'm, like I say, Dinobots is probably my favorite team to put together. And Snarl was, the one that released this year, but I did pick them all up this year, like I say, for my first time collecting, or in a while. So I didn't have the issue with a lot of people Snarl where the head was separating, but, from accuracy to the overall look, like I say, they just did a good job with this, and I can't wait for them to finish the team with Swoop this year, and we'll be good on the Dinobots. All right, coming in at number 5 is the Mafex Deadpool from X-Force. Now, I don't have any attachment to X-Force at all. Deadpool's a cool character, but when I saw the images, I was like, man, I wonder how this is going to look in person. Let me just get it, because if nothing else, it looks pretty cool. I love the gray scheme, fight gray and the lighter gray. But in hand, this figure feels so high-end. Mafex just, man, I can't tell. I ended up buying a Wolverine too, and Wolverine's not as good, but it's okay. I mean, if they happen to finish X-Force out, at least I'll have Wolverine too. But yeah, this Deadpool is just second to none. Like, I really, really, really like this one. It's much better than even the other versions of Deadpool that we have. So, all right, coming in at number 4 is probably the one of the figures I got late in the year, right before the end of the year, and that is the Mafex. I'm sorry, the SHF Kenobi dual in Vader, and man, everybody did a good job with this one. I would definitely say the Hasbro Black Series version looked really good, but I wanted something that's more definitive. I'm not a huge Vader fan. I love Star Wars, but Vader's not my favorite character, but he's definitely essential, and I do love the Hayden version of Vader. So I was hoping to get one that was pretty amazing. And I mean, the wired cape and the wired tunic, the shine of the plastic, the head sculpt. Let's see if I can get in here. I mean, that head sculpt. I know. I don't think anybody's going to do one better than that, other than maybe the Hot Toys version. I mean, this is pretty phenomenal. So, great job to those guys on that. Like I say, SHF Duels Invader. For number 3, we're gonna stick with Star Wars. For this Star Wars figure, it is going to be my favorite Jedi. Controversial, is Ahsoka Tano. Now, season 3 is such a cool look for her, and my favorite look for her is definitely season 7. But this season 3 look was great, and I tell you what, the fact that you have an Ahsoka that you can do this too, and she doesn't fall over, you can pose her up. She stands up. Her feet are great. They definitely fix a lot of that too. And for you Disney Infinity fans, this is super cool because the Disney Infinity version is like almost spot on to the action figure. So I have these kind of sitting on my desk now side by side just because I have that's like a mini statue over. But again, they did a great job with this new Ahsoka, and super happy to have such a great representation of Ahsoka, in the lineup. So absolutely awesome. Number 2, I'm gonna have to slide this one out here. Was my first Hot Toys ever purchased, and that is, I'm gonna back the camera up a little bit, is the Captain America Falcon. This was such a great piece. I debated about spending the money for Hot Toys, and it just ended up working out where I found one. And this, as my first, did not disappoint. All the reviews I saw on YouTube just did not do this figure justice. Like the wings, the body, the suit, the head sculpt. That Anthony Mackie head sculpt is crazy accurate. I mean, it's like they just did a great job with this. So, and believe it or not, as much as this Hot Toys was, it wasn't even the most expensive figure I bought, because I bought some older units, as I'm chasing units that were more expensive than this one. So it definitely wasn't based on price. It was really based on how much I really enjoyed the character, so, and the figure. And then number 1 for 2023 pickups, Transformers Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus, I never owned Optimus as a kid, and Ultra Magnus was the truck I had, and so he's always had a special place in my heart. And I was really worried when I found out they were going to do one, and just kind of concerned about how Hasbro would not do it, and they just really did a great job with it. It's like a mini masterpiece. Everybody says that about this unit. Articulation, transforming is not part forming. I don't care about the truck and trailers being separate, in separate robot like the G1 was, because honestly, that never happened in the movie. So I'd rather accuracy over anything else, and this is the most accurate version of Ultra Magnus. So I can't wait until we get more from this line. The Optimus Prime is probably going to be crazy amazing too, but when I think about figures I collected this year, this has to really take the cake, and what is top tier. And this is, like I said, this is much cheaper than Hot Toys. I mean, it's not even close. But they did a phenomenal job with this, and I got to give Hasbro props on that. So that was my top 15. Technically top 10 for the year, top 15. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment if this is, if you had any differences in the figures you collected this year. Love to hear from you, and I will talk next time. Thanks.